Okay, so hello, this is Alger Williams. I'll be presenting my project that is based on the simulated banking system um, using C++. And getting right into it, we have our libraries as we start off for input output, the vector container, string class, and fstream for files that we're going to be using. Of course, we have using namespace std to make things a bit more efficient. And here we come to our first, we have our structure, which is account. And we're using that, the members within it, three of them. Those are account number, which is an integer variable. That's because, well, it's an account number. We're using numbers to um, to assign these accounts to whoever's owning them. And speaking of which, the next member is account holder, which will be in the string variable. This is because, well, account holder is just basically the account, the owner of the account's name. So of course we're going to use string to represent that. And lastly, we have balance, which is in double variable, which is of course because we're dealing with money, so double is probably the best in this instant to go about doing recording the said money. Next, we have we're already using the vector container with account to have so that you can store all the bank accounts that is going to be one of the functions is in my project. So as we'll see. So next we come to our first function. This is save accounts. And all this does is it takes the accounts and saves it to a file. More specifically, it's saving it to the all-encompassing file, the file that holds all the accounts, basically. Just not specifically like any specific account, but the general file that stores them. That's what this part of the function does. Next, we have our second function, which is create account. This is basically just to create a new bank account whenever the need arises. So basically, it asks you for an account number, of course, the account holder's name, and that's all it really asks for in the first instance, because it is just creating the account. So we have those, we save those. Interestingly enough, we have with an account, we've declared new account, and this is just basically a placeholder for the meanwhile to integrate a new account within the system itself. So that's what it's going about doing here, and it saves those that data and inputs it within the system as a whole. And while it also collects this information, what it next does here in the string file name, where it starts there, this is where it opens up creates a file specifically for that account. This is going to be used for transaction history, so it can be called upon, and it can be shown what transactions have occurred within this account. And of course, yeah, that's what this function does here. It basically just creates one, assigns an account number, gets the account holder's name, and makes a file to save whatever future transactions they're gonna do. And of course, it gives a file to show as we go on. Next, we have the deposit money function, which of course now we're getting to like the actual transactions to be done within this project. Firstly, we're using the account number, and we're declaring amount here, which is the money that you're going to be for this specific one, since it's deposit is the amount of money that you're going to be putting within the account. So of course we're going to ask for account number so we can know where this transaction is occurring, which account specifically, and then we're asking for the amount, or enter the amount of deposit. So once you've gotten those two values, we go about basically we're finding accounts, and then once we make sure that that's the actual account, using the account number, since it's deposit, we simply just add to the balances within. Specifically speaking, okay, so it adds to the whatever balance is within that account previously, and what it also does is, after doing that, it updates, specifically the account file. It updates, like, okay, firstly it updates the new balance, so it adds the amounts and uses the sum, and that becomes the new balance. And what ends up happening is, since it's the accounts file, this is what we're using for transaction history, so it doesn't simply overwrite the previous amount. So it updates the balance, but it also tells you, okay, this was a deposit, so, and it saves it within the account. So they say, okay, this amount was deposited, and then this is the new balance as well. That's what's happening here. And of course we have are disabled in case a wrong account number was put in, or an account hasn't been created yet. It has account not found. Oh, and going back to the create account, I forgot to mention this, which is going to be crucial within the transaction histories, is that whenever we're creating a new account, of course we're setting the new account's balance to 0, which makes sense because it's a new account. It doesn't really have any money, any transactions within the account yet. And yeah, because that's how we're dealing within this project view here. Because I mean, in real life, you probably do need to make like a minimum deposit to make an account. But of course, this is just a virtual simulation of back transactions. So I'm not really implementing that sort of a rule. Okay. So next we're getting to our next function is the withdraw function, which is basically the opposite of deposit. So of course, again, it asks for account number. We have amount popping up again, which is the amount of money we're going to be withdrawing. So again, same hold. We check the user account number to find the account, and then we start interacting with the account. So since this is withdraw, what it does is it subtracts the amount that was declared from the balance within the account. Of course, the first section here, being that if all goes well, then you get the withdrawal success new balance if there's enough money within the account. And so it does that, and then it does the same thing as deposit. It updates. It shows you, okay, this amount. It just shows that it takes the previous balance, and it subtracts whatever withdrawal amount was stated, but it also logs in the amount withdrawn as well as the new balance after that amount has been withdrawn. And also what it does is, since we're checking for the account, once the account isn't found, but also we're checking if in this if statement, we're checking if the the balance is larger than the amount of withdrawal, because of course you can't take out more money than you actually have. So what ends up happening is we just it doesn't go through, and then we send back a message that just says insufficient balance. I was contemplating on adding like going into the negatives, showing negatives within the bank accounts, like to say, you know, but it was a bit tricky to pull off, and I didn't think it was that necessary per se, because even in real life, you aren't really allowed to go within the negatives when it comes to like simple transactions. That usually happens when it comes to like debts and loans and those sort of things. So I didn't include it within my project. And of course we have the account not found if the number doesn't match any numbers within the pool that we already have. The next function we have is the check balance. And what this does is it simply goes within specifically the accounts, the universal file that holds all the accounts, and it basically it gets the number, it shows you the number, and then whatever amount is currently there. So because of course the universal one just simply has the balance that is the most recent. So that's all it shows. Okay, you want to check how much money is left in your bank? Okay, a check balance, and that's literally all it does. Right here. And of course we have the account not found if the number isn't there. If the account number isn't there. And then right after that we have the function that displays all accounts. And what this does is, instead of like the first one that it looks for a specific line, it looks for a specific account and line, this one just goes to the universal file and just prints out the entire thing. Basically, yeah, this displays all accounts. It shows their account number, account holder, and their current balance for everyone. Which, I mean, for a bank to do would be crazy, but since the user and since in this case we don't really have that much of a barrier between the clients and the bank runners, I guess, yeah, there's just not, that's just the case here, that you can you can just access all the accounts, their names and their balances, I guess, their personal information. Okay, so going to the next function, we have the load accounts from file, and this just gets all the accounts. This ties in with the display all accounts. The first part of the function is basically shows everything, and this one gets the information itself from the file before it is printed out in the format of the previous section of the function. So then we also have the display account history. So what this does, remember I said that at the beginning, when it comes to new accounts, whenever a new account is made, there's a file that's made specifically for that account that just logs in the transaction history, which is not simply the balance, but like whatever withdrawals, how many withdrawals, deposits have happened within that account. So of course we right here it asks for an account number, so we can find whichever file we need to, and using that account number it goes within the files and finds the one that matches that, and then it takes it and it returns it. It shows the message transaction history, and it just goes and prints out all the instances that have occurred within that account. And of course, it also checks to see if the account has like if it actually does have any transaction histories. So yeah, it checks to see if not only, of course, for all of them, they're going to check for the account number. That's how the most of this project works, using the account numbers, because those are the easiest to like identify each component. Specifically speaking, in this one, yeah, it does that, but it also like checks to see if there are any transactions in themselves within the file. Because if there aren't any transactions, then the file is practically empty. So if either of those two conditions aren't met, it shows that your account isn't found, or there's no transaction histories on that account yet, at least. Next, we have the function for deleting an account. So what it did here was, when it comes to the accounts, you punch in your account number, and then it begins a process where it goes about looking for the account, it finds the account, and then it gives you, I did double confirmation to show, because when I was first implementing the code, I realized you literally could just punch in a number and press enter, and then the entire thing's gone, which kind of messed up some of the testing that I was doing. So I decided to add a confirmation. So it's you punch in your account, and it actually asks you if you're sure if you want to delete the account. If you hit yes, then it follows to a second confirmation. And then if you hit yes, which is represented by Y in both instances, then your account is deleted, which is honestly to say how many times I've accidentally deleted an account, even with the first confirmation. I was just like, yeah, I'll add to. It's probably a bit redundant, but I feel it works in how, since this project kind of runs relatively smoothly. So yeah, it's very easy to just click through and just delete it quickly without realizing. So yeah, it deletes. It goes ahead and it finds whatever is related to the account itself and deletes it. So it not only deletes it from the universal accounts file, but it also finds the transaction history file and deletes that as well. So all of those, it gets scrubbed from all of those. And of course, since we checked, because since I've separated those two confirmations, of course, if either of those confirmations you hit no, which is represented by an N, it cancels the deletion. It cancels the entire process. So yeah, and it says, and returns a message that says account deletion cancel, of course. And of course, we have the whether or not the account was found or not. And then lastly, we have the main function, where it loads accounts from the file. So where it takes all the functions basically. First we have a while loop that just holds the component functions. It just displays the functions that this project can do. It's basically the menu, and then using a switch, that's where we record the inputs for what you want to do specifically. Since it's the main menu, what I did here was that it just it shows you the functionalities within this project. From out of the 8, it just shows you the number corresponding to whatever function. So okay, 2 is for depositing money, 6 is for displaying your account history, 4 is for checking your balance. And then using the switch case, we just assign, okay, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4 to each of those functions, basically. And then, of course, using the case function, so we go 1, 2, 3 through 8. And then lastly, the default is basically if you hit any number out of the range of 1 to 8, then of course it's an invalid choice. We can't really do anything. There's no functions assigned to any numbers outside of those 8. So yeah, that's what happens there. So without further ado, we can proceed to show example of it actually running, apart from just the code itself. So give me a second here. Back to okay, so there you see it. It was there for most of the the presentation of the codes, but yeah, that's where it is. That's the menu. Okay, so we're going to start off with the first choice. So we're going to create an account. Okay, so of course it asks you for the number that you're going to choose. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. And the account holder name, I'll just use my initials, ACW. And there, your account has been created successfully. And then it returns you back to the main menu. So once, because it's a main menu, it just kind of, okay, you use a function, returns you back to the main menu. I forgot to specifically point it out in the code, but yeah, that's how I coded it, which makes sense because I didn't want to have basically I didn't want to add to every function that, okay, you're going to be asked okay, do you want to go back to the main menu or do you want to exit? Because I mean the functions are pretty straightforward, so and quick, easy to do, so I didn't think it'd be that much of a wait or inconvenience. I just to put it in every function, so basically just returns you back to the main menu. So okay, so next we can deposit. So see here it asks for your account number. So okay, we're gonna 1, 2, 3, gonna hit it, and then we're just gonna put an arbitrary amount. Let's put 200. There we go. Deposit successful. Of course, deposit doesn't really have much issues, but here now we go to the withdrawals. So we're gonna choose withdrawal, and now we're gonna play it safe. We're just gonna put a number that's less than 200. So let's see, we'll take away 150. Okay. Oh, my bad. I put it the wrong number within it, and now we're gonna see what my coding had for this. So of course it doesn't say anything now, but let's see. I'll put in another arbitrary number. Boom. And then it says account not found. So whatever transaction it has, it's null because the account number doesn't exist. So we're gonna try that again. 3, we're gonna 1, 2, 3. That's it, the account number we said before. And then again 150, we're gonna withdraw. See, withdrawal successful. So new balance, and then it shows you, of course, as I said within the code, it displays the new balance as well. Since it's already recording it, so it might as well display it for whoever is using it at the moment. Okay, so yeah, there we go. It works. Now we're gonna try it again, but this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna subtract more than there is within the account. So there's 50 left. We're gonna put 100, And what happens? Insufficient balance. It just tells you insufficient balance. Sorry, yeah, you can't make a withdrawal. Okay, so you can make a withdrawal. You want to double check on how much money you do have within the bank. We go 4. That's for check balance. We hit our number again. There we go. Our account balance is 50. Okay, so I already have a few accounts within this. Well, one other account, apart from the one that we're using right now. So we're gonna put display all accounts, since thankfully I have another one. Okay, so we have here, we're going with the display all accounts. And there we go. It displays the account number, the account holder, and the balance of however many accounts there are within the file itself. So you can see there we have the file we're currently using, as well as the one other file that I have within it. So since we've seen how it shows those, the account number, the name, and the current balance that the account holds, each account holds. Okay, now seeing that, now you can go into the next function, which is the account history. And here we can specifically see, let's check our current one. We can specifically see the transactions that has happened on the specific account that we inputted. So here we can see the deposit of 200 that we made, the withdrawal of 150 that we made, and of course you can see that it doesn't show the withdrawal that we tried to do that was over, because the current, as we've seen before, the current balance is 50. As seen here, the current balance is 50. Remember, earlier we tried to withdraw 100, which was over the amount. So what happened was that transaction in itself didn't happen. Basically, it didn't go through. It wasn't successful. And so when it comes to the transaction histories, the unsuccessful transactions aren't recorded. So yeah, it doesn't show that withdrawal, especially since we didn't use any negative like integers. So basically, yeah, it doesn't show that unsuccessful attempt. It just shows the successful transactions that have occurred with the account. And then next here we have the delete the account. This was good. This was something that I came up with actually, like, as I was like testing around with the code. I was just creating accounts and like testing them out. I was like, specifically for whichever case, I just tried figuring out what I could do with each account, and I tried to keep them like quarantined from each other. I was like, okay, let's see if it works if I try to withdraw more than the account has, and such, or input a wrong account number, whatever it was. I tried to see how many like transactions I could do on each account. But basically what this ended up happening was I just had a bunch of accounts, and on some of the previous iterations of my codes, I realized I didn't know what to do with them. I had to like go and manually delete them, and that would sometimes askew some of the coding that I had. So I implemented the function of delete account. So what you do is you input again, since we're using the account number uses for most. Okay, so we use the account number to find it. And first off, I also realized within the previous iterations that whenever I tried to delete an account, it was simply way too like easy to delete. You basically just chose the function of deleting the account. You hit your You punched in your account number, and immediately as you hit enter, it was gone. It was gone, completely gone. So yeah, I wasn't too fond of that, so I added confirmation. Okay, so it finds the account, it shows you that okay, it exists, and it also asks you if you really want to delete the account, which I mentioned when going through the code. So yeah, so of course you input Y. It doesn't matter if it's capital, lowercase. I coded it so that it can take. So if you want to delete the account, you can put Y. So you put Y for yes, you're agreeing, you want to delete, and there you go. I added a double confirmation because even then, I guess in my opinion, I found it way too easy to delete. So just in case, is a double confirmation before you delete. So if you hit no here, which is denoted by N, as I stated before, it says account deletion cancel. We cancel the account deletion. So yeah, and whichever one has that no hits, it that's what happens. So can we try again? 1, 2, 3. Found. No, we put a no here. It stops there. Account deletion cancel. So whichever one it cancels the deletion. So all the information stays safe. And so since we're getting near to the end, we might as well we'll use it again. So display delete account 1, 2, 3. Are you sure you want to? Yes. Please confirm again. Yes. And then there you go. Account deleted successfully. So yeah, I made sure. I kind of thought over that. I may have overthought it and put too much into that function, but yeah, I really happy with how that worked out. And lastly, we have the last function, exit. So you just hit 8 and you'd enter, you're out. And of course, to begin again, you have to do the same process that you did at the beginning to start it. So yeah, that's exit. I didn't mind putting like a confirmation there because none of the data, there's like exiting the program won't really like mess with any of the data. The data will still be there. Yes, see it's still stored, so even if you exit, the data remains. So yeah, I didn't bother adding a confirmation like I did the delete account, because of course delete account you're just straight up like deleting the data completely forever. But exit, the data is stored within their respective files, so they're pretty safe. And so with that, thank you for viewing my presentation, and thank you.